Welcome back to the Summer of Knives 2017 Bushcrafter Knife Edition. So what I'm going to attempt to cover here is some of the features and designs of the Bushcraft knife. Now, I myself are not a bushcrafter. I think most bushcrafters, if you had to define it, is someone that has a foot in the synthetic world, such as, everyday life. They have a house, a home, a job, and the other half of the time they spent in the natural world, which is the forest, and make bushcrafts and make crafts out of wood and traps and live off the land, so to speak. Now, if you're like me and live in the city, trying to be a bushcrafter is almost near impossible because we have to travel very far away to get away from people in order to enjoy nature and its beauty. So therefore I tend mostly just when I go there to do hiking and camping, and if I'm going hunting, it's normally what I do. I think bushcrafting as a lifestyle is very hard to do. I know Ray Mears is one of the top dogs. Survivor Man, Les Stroud is a top dog. And you see all these shows popping up on a Discovery Channel like Naked and Ashamed. And you also have Alone, and when Dual Survival was good, you had Dual Survival, Dave Canterbury, that kind of guy. So Cody Lundin, bushcrafter, obviously. And if you look at some of the kit that they carry, their knives are very similar in style. Not all of them, but I think you have to understand that someone that spends a lot of time in the bush, whether it's the desert, the jungle, forest, whatever the case is, they have their own preference. And I think what the industry decided to do, and I mean industry, meaning knife industry, is to create a knife that we can call specifically a bushcraft knife. All right, and this is the definition of a bushcraft knife. Essentially, you have a leather sheath because it's more traditional than Kydex or whatever the case is. Sometimes you'll have a fire steel on the side, like this one right here, and it's sort of like an all-in-one kit. All right. Typically, you'll have the sheath or the knife handle will sit down inside of a leather sheath, and most everything will be in the sheath, and only a little part of the handle will be exposed. You could either have it on a belt clip or a dangler. I know a lot of people like danglers because when you sit down, the blade, the butt end of the knife doesn't lean into your body and be annoying. To me, I never liked danglers. I was never a big fan of that, but if you wanted to, you could. Typically, the knife is going to be between 4 and 5 inches, some type of carbon steel. All right, you're going to have a nice, robust, ergonomic handle. It will have a spear point, and it will have a Scandi grind, which is only 1/4 of an inch up from the blade edge, and it will be zero. Okay, so it'll be a zero edge. So in other words, there's no double edge right there. It's just one, and they usually are razor sharp. Now, typically a bushcraft knife, and this is the way I see it as the industry, is for wood. Okay, so you're going to do your feather sticks with this. You're going to do making your traps. You're going to make your fire. All the things that you want to do in woodcraft or bushcraft will be done with this type of knife. And for me, I don't think that's suitable. I think that these are great knives, and I love these knives, and if I didn't like them, I wouldn't purchase them. This one happens to be from Spyderco. It's an 01 tool steel, big fan of that, and these are not cheap. This is an expensive bushcraft knife. Every company that I've seen online that is a major manufacturer, such as Spyderco, Tops, some Benchmade, they all have a bushcrafter's knife because they're trying to sell the industry standard. Now, again, myself, I don't believe in industry standards. I go with what works for me. So what I did is I created my own bushcraft knife. Okay, this is the Scout 1, the Mark 1 Scout. Mark 1 Scout is my own design. If you didn't know, I am a custom knife maker. Go to threeriverblades.com, check out what I have up there. This is, in my opinion, my bushcraft, my everyday knife when I go out into the field. It has a 5-inch blade, 5-inch handle. The handle is robust, so your hand does not get fatigued. It does have a lanyard loop in the back. My Carter scales could be made in wood. I use a saber grind because I think a saber grind is more of a utility grind as opposed to the Scandi grind. Scandi grind is great for doing wood chores, but it's not great for everything. So you have to understand that. This does go down to a 0 edge, and I use Kydex because Kydex is impervious to the weather. All right, other than if you jump in a hotbed of lava, I don't think you have to worry about it after that. But Kydex, it's waterproof, windproof, everything. Now this blade is made out of 154 cm, so again the maintenance factor is extremely low. All right, so you don't have to worry about rusting. Has my name stamped in there, and if you guys are interested in this, please go up to threeriverblades.com and check out all the stuff I have up there. Now, typically what you would see is somebody carrying a Mora knife, and I had to put it up there because I know everybody loves these knives. It's about a $16 knife. Cody Lundeen is probably the master at everything with this little tiny blade. And again, Scandi grind, carbon steel, about a 4-inch blade. All right, and it does come with the little, I call it a pocket because it's not really a sheath, but he hangs this around his neck. It's super lightweight and he can do all his chores. Now the thing about Cody Lundeen is he's been living the bushcraft life probably his whole entire life. So at one time, I don't know, he was telling a story. I read his books, by the way. If you're interested, go read his books. I think it's 96.8 Degrees and another book that he wrote. But he explains to you that, he lived the dirt life, which is you live in the dirt. You actually built his own hut. He started giving classes for money, and now he has his own school. So teaching people how to do bushcraft. Was it Mors Kazansky? Big fan of the Mora knife. I think he's the one that mostly, if you had to go back to the beginning, he was the guy that did mostly uses Mora knives now. He used to create his own, which were very small, and they're pretty similar to the Mora knife. This is the Mora Bushcraft. Again, a industry standard fire steel, sharpening stone, dangler, as you can see here. And this has a rubberized handle, and it's a little bit thicker. This is one of the knives, if you were going to carry a Mora, that's what I would carry. I don't typically like just carrying Moras because I don't like that it's not a full tang knife, and I think if you are stuck out there for longer than what you need it to be, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Alright, this is the Brothers of Bushcraft. Like I said, industry standard, 5-inch blade, 4 to 5-inch blade. This one is $10.95, and it does come with a saber grind. This has the added divot in it for if you are doing bow drill sets, and it has the striker on the back so you don't have to use your top of your knife. Alright, Kydex sheath, big fan of that. It does come with a ferrocerium rod and some magnesium bars and a whistle, and it fits in this nice little neat package like that. Alright, so big fan of tops. I really do like tops. Now again, like I said, these knives here are designed for bushcraft. I didn't make it up. This is the ones, I mean, other than the 2 knives that I have on the table that are mine, these were all designed specifically for tasks that you're going to use in the forest. And this, again, I think this was blind horse knives or battle horse knives. Alright, this has a thinner profile than the Pathfinder knife, but I liked it because it was thinner. Probably about a 5/32, maybe 3/16. This has a saber grind. Nice point on it. It has the really nice handle. This is I think it's canvas G10. I'm sorry, canvas micarta, and it has a very large lanyard loop. Also very indicative of the bushcraft knife. Comes in a nice leather sheath. Okay, you can put a dangler on there if you like. Blind horse knives, or now it's battle horse knives. Okay, this is the Pathfinder knife, and again, you guys probably have seen this. This was Dave Canterbury's design. It's made by 01 Tool Steel, 3/16 inch thick, and it does have the 5-inch blade, jimping on top. Again, industry standard is the Scandi grind, robust handles, right? Large lanyard loop in the back, lanyard hole. It's got Corby rivets in there. Very nice knife for a lot of tasks. They do sell a leather sheath for this, but I opted for the Kydex sheath because again it's impervious to the weather. Fire steel on the side, and it has a leather backer. Alright, so you can carry this on your waist and it not be so stiff. That's the thing about Kydex, is if you put a Kydex clip on here, it gets a little bit tight. Probably can, you know, you'd feel it inside of your waist. So this is LT Wright's Bushcrafter. Alright, another custom maker. Really robust handle. Alright, I think this is the Genesis 01 tool steel if I had to guess. But it's a little bit thinner than normal. It's not the 3/16. Spear point, high polish on the Scandi grind right there. Really comfortable handle. And again, same style sheath with the Kydex versus the leather. It does come with the honing ceramic rod, and it also comes with the fire steel. Okay, there's a fire steel on the side, and it has the leather with the Kydex, which I really like that combination. I'm a big fan of that. Alright, now I'm going to talk about the next two knives, which by the way are made from Habilis bush tool, and the whole purpose of them is to make bush tools. So this is Habilis, and if you don't know who Habilis is, definitely check them out. They don't sell a large plethora of knives. Like, their knife designs are very specific, designed for their bushcrafting. Alright, so as you can see, this has a very large blade and a very large sweeping belly, but again, it has this Scandi grind. This is supposed to be some type of support, so if you needed to pull sticks this way, this little notch right here is for your fire rod. Alright, you have 3 lanyard loops, or holes I should say. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then in the center you have your divot if you wanted to use it for a fire bow. Now the leather sheath on this is pretty excellent. It has 2 snaps, 1 on each side. Okay, if you wanted to, you can make this a left-hander or a right-hander by taking off the bolts right here and then switching everything around. It does come with a dangler. Alright, very traditional in bushcrafting, and it has a fire loop, or a fire loop for a fire steel. Now, I guess they decided to go one step bigger, and I don't know all the names for this, so I apologize. But essentially, it's the same tool, only maximized. Okay, the difference here is the steel's bigger. Obviously, the blade's bigger. You do have a finger choil here for uptight, close work, and if you wanted to, the pommel on this has this large sweeping piece right here, so you can really grip back on it to do some chopping chores. All right, so this is basically their one tool option. Same design with the fire steel up front, and again, as you can see, it has all the attachments. All right, so again, great knife by Habilis. I'm a big fan. If you haven't checked out Habilis Bush Tools, please go check them out. This does come with the leather dangler, and of course it's left-handed, right-hand. You just got to take all this out. You could also wear the Scout Carry if you wanted to. Now this is more my style right here. I think they call this one the Drifter. This was a design with Habilis and the Pathfinder School. It's very hard to see, but you can see both logos right there. Alright, Habilis and the Pathfinder. And I should say that all the blades that you see here are blued. They're gun blued. So that's why you see that really dark, because they are a carbon steel, and carbon steel will rust. So you got to make sure that you take care of it. You know, really nice. I like the red and black. I'm a big fan of that. This is a good size knife for me. I know the other knives are really fun. You know, they're fun, they're funky, they're great. But something of this size is probably going to do you more good in the bush than any of those bigger knives. Now, leather sheath is outstanding. All right, you have 2 ways of attaching it. You can attach it via the belt, or you can get the dangler and put the dangler on there. It's got a little fire steel on it. Excellent, nice small blade. All right, you're talking about maybe a 4-inch blade. Now, some of the things like Bark River. All right, Bark River, pretty decent. This is a little bit bigger. This is a flat grind, and you're going to see some bushcraft knives will be flat ground. This is an excellent size knife for me. It's a 5-inch blade. Again, I like it. Multiple lanyard connections there. Bark River always does a really nice job on their G10 or their micarta, and this one has red liners in it. Alright, I would not suggest, and I know a lot of people say this, but you know, everybody likes the Bark River Scandi grind. The problem with the Scandi grind is that it's a great grind and it's great for chopping and stuff like that, but the thing is it's very hard to sharpen out in the field. So if you are going to go with a Bark River, you have to make sure that you get the Bushcrafter style that has a different grind, or you have to be okay with the fact that you're going to get a Scandi grind. This is a personal favorite. This was made by a blacksmith shop. This is mine. I purchased this at a blacksmith shop. It's a 5-inch blade. Well, actually it's 6 inches overall, but it has a 5-inch blade, and you can tell that this was a heat and beat knife. This was not ground, which is why I like it a lot better. You can tell that it was hit on the forge and it was not ground in. Alright, really nice knife. Again, this is more of a belt knife, but you can use it for bushcraft, and it has this nice red rosewood on there, and it has some type of acid wash on there, so it's a really nice knife. And again, I had this sheath made. I did not make this sheath, somebody made this for me. Nice basket weave. There's his logo right there. So again, great bushcraft knife. We already spoke about my knife. Again, this is what I think a field knife or a bushcraft knife should be, in my opinion. I know that, like I said, I am not a bushcrafter, so I know some people will disagree with me. Scandi grind is king. Scandi grind is king. If you don't have a Scandi grind, it's not a bushcrafter. All right, whatever. I take the knife to the field that I like. Okay, how about that? Alright, so this is another nice small bushcraft knife by Folkneven, VG10. This is one of the series. It has a leather stacked handle. Excellent, excellent blade. It is a stick tang. I don't know if you could see that, and it's been riveted in, and it has leather stacks around it. Bolsters in the front, in the back. Excellent blade. Leather sheath as usual. Excellent, excellent blade. I really like this knife. The only thing I don't like, again, is that the belt loop on this is so small you can't fit it on any belt. So great job, Folkneven. So I already went over the Bushcrafter. Alright, this is Spyderco's version of it. Expensive knife, 01, traditional razor sharp, excellent blade. You would not go wrong buying any of these knives, by the way. Alright, here's another knife. I don't really consider this a bushcraft knife, but if you're looking for something without a Scandi grind, alright, this is Bark River CPM 3V. Again, this is what I was telling you about with that grind. Alright, this is a convex edge. Now again, a convex edge works excellent in the field. I have no problem with that. Alright, I actually prefer a convex edge over a Scandi grind because I think it could do a lot more chores than just peeling wood. Okay, but you're going to have to be okay with the fact that once you use this knife, you're going to have to sharpen it. All right, this just happens to be in the orange and black G10. I like that color because if I drop it in the woods, hopefully I'll be able to find it. The handle is very sufficient, very comfortable. You can see it has a nice ergonomic design on there. All right, the sheath is really nice. Again, this is Bark River. Alright, let's try not to cut this. There you go. So, very lightweight knife, leather sheath. Alright, I have a fire steel in there, and this is the Bark River leather sheath. Okay, so pretty cool. Another Bark River, small knife again, Scandi ground. I'm sorry, not Scandi ground, but convex edge. So this is a convex knife. Again, like I said, nice 4-inch blade. You know, enough handle to do whatever you need it to do. Ergonomics are great. Really nice fit and finish. Leather sheath. Fire steel attachment. Okay, excellent knife. And then I would be remiss if I didn't get you the Condor. This is the Condor Mini. This is an attempt at the super tiny bushcrafter in your life. Again, you know, Scandi grind. The handles probably need a little bit of work. This is the Mini, and it comes with a little mini sheath. I think this knife is way too small to be a bushcraft knife. I don't think a 2-inch blade is sufficient if this is the only knife you're going to depend on. You know, prove me wrong. I'm going with a 4 to 5 inch blade at least, and I want something that, is, you know, robust enough that if I need to beat on it I can, and I don't have to worry about breaking it. Now this is a full tang knife, so you really don't have to worry about it, but I mean ideally Condor makes great products. They also have the regular size Bushcrafter, which I highly recommend if you are looking for a budget option. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go up to threeriverblades.com, check out all the knives that I have up there. Also, any of the blades that you see here that are not made by a specific manufacturer, I purchased them on Amazon.com. I have an Amazon link down below, so please check that out. Also, when you go up to my website, go to threeriverblades.com and check out the mailing list. Sign up for the mailing list. It doesn't cost you anything. You have a double opt-in, and I usually send out discounts for people that are looking for a discount on my knives. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe out there. Talk to you soon.